Welcome back to J&J Dynasty. We are going to get into a few news and notes happening from over the weekend. Hello. We'll start off with so please subscribe to the channel on my search for double digits with that. So please do. If you like the content, give me a thumbs up. I'm trying to build some momentum here. But at any rate, let's get into the video. Just some quick news and notes and how it should affect some players, right? So with the, in particular, we're going to talk about the franchise tag. So let's get into it here. First off, news and notes from over the weekend here. DeAndre Hopkins appears to be headed to the Tennessee Titans. So everybody who's made a bunch of plans with a lot of Tennessee receptions or receivers, that's going to probably all be for naught. So, you know, if you're looking at maybe 530 attempts or around 500 attempts with Tannehill being there, figure 130 to 150 of those going to D-Hop himself. Treylon Burks probably getting another 100 to 120. So how much is left after that? You know, when you think you're going to get about 50 tosses to your running backs, even though Henry's only going to get 20 to maybe 30 of those, somebody else is going to get some. What is left for Chig and or Kyle Phillips? Is that maybe 80 to 100 targets a piece? Is that going to be enough to make them fantasy relevant? Is that even going to happen? So that's what you got to kind of ask yourself with that. Kyle Phillips was one of my second year breakout guys who I was looking at, being that I figured that he could be a PPR monster, average about 7 to 10 targets a game. I don't think that that's going to happen anymore. So he's currently on my cut list. I'm going to be picking up some other guys, some older guys, with Kyle Phillips being left out. But as it happens to be that it sounds like DeAndre Hopkins is in line for a 2-year deal with Tennessee. So that might be a nice landing spot for said rookie who they draft next year. You know, with the two very good ones, if they don't have the type of year that they think that they're going to have with D-Hop and Treylon and all these young wide receivers, a young quarterback, or even maybe this bumps up Will Levis, his value a bit. So that's what we're looking at with DeAndre Hopkins. You know, as I sit here and just think about it for a second, DeAndre Hopkins, Will Levis, that would probably be a good fit. And as we know, Tannehill always gets hurt. So I would recommend probably if you have the room, probably pick up Will Levis. He's gone undrafted in a pile of leagues on MFL with the standard one quarterback dynasty. And so get a hold of that. So let's move on. So today is Monday, and the name of the episode is the franchise tag. Well, Saquon Barkley did not get signed. Apparently, there was good faith efforts all the way up to the last minute, and they did not get a deal done with a devaluation of the running backs in the NFL as far as workhorses and everything like that. Both him and Josh Jacobs, right, did not get their deals done. Sounded like everything was done to try to get them aboard in a multi-year contract. But the problem is with how the contracts are worked nowadays. They're going to get $10 million and $10 million each, right? So the second year, you have to be guaranteed more than $20 million because they're probably going to get franchise tagged next year again at an even higher rate. So you have to be over $20 million. So you have to be somewhere in the $30 million range for a 2-year contract, and teams don't want to do that. So it just makes it very difficult to get these guys signed on a second-year contract. The NFL definitely has to do something about this with running backs, the running back position, you know, with them just not being able to sign quarterbacks for a second term. So, I mean, this absolutely has to change with regard to second-year running backs. When running backs are 25, 26, 27, they're still in their prime, but they're not getting paid because they're not getting the contracts. At least for the rookie slotting process, a 3 years with a fourth-year option might be much better for running backs than it is for other teams, especially if you're going to devalue the position. If you're not going to pay them on a second contract, something like that needs to happen. With everything being said, Saquon, let's go back to Saquon, right? Do not go and pick up Gray. Gray is garbage. Barkley's going to wind up signing. Both these guys are going to wind up signing. Neither one of them wants to do the Le'Veon Bell portion of this and sit out an entire year, lose $10 million, which they will never recoup, right? So right now, as bad as it is for them, the best thing that they can do is play so that way they can keep their value up so that they can get franchise tagged at worst again next year. They're going to get $10 million. If you don't play, and it's been proven with Le'Veon Bell, with other guys with COVID, you come back a year later as a running back, now you have no value or very little, a quarter of what you had before. So, I would love to see them sit out as far as NFL watcher and actually get these guys paid. As a fantasy manager, I don't want to see them sit out because I've got shares of both of them. So it's a tough situation to be put into, but that's kind of where we're at with that. As far as and Barkley, to finish off with that, the receiving side is a mess. They've got 15 wide receivers. You don't want to bump anybody up with them. Daniel Jones, I don't think is a proven quarterback. I don't think you want to bump anybody up or play with anybody for sure. If I'm taking a shot on anybody in the New York Giants organization, it's Hodgins as far as a pass catcher, and that's it. Waller's going to get hurt. They got Bellinger. So Daniel Diney Dimes doesn't toss tight ends anyway. So that's kind of a moot point. Josh Jacobs is a little bit more curious, I would say. Just had some pork chops and got some stuff in my teeth, so apologize about that. But Josh Jacobs, you're not going to see a bump in anybody else's shares of the receptions. Carr dumped a lot of balls off to him last year. If Garoppolo winds up playing, and that's a big if, he usually doesn't do that unless it's designed play. Look for Devontae Adams to soak up most of those. Hunter Renfrow is going to get some of his. He's not going to be as prolific as everybody thought before. They've got a couple other guys there hanging around. Do not go out and get Zamir White either. Zamir White, I told everybody last year, was the best fullback in the draft. That's what he is. He's a fullback. He's a plotter. He's not going to do anything. He doesn't even really break tackles. So you don't want him. He may have a good 40 time, but he plays football at half of what his 40 time shows. So that's something you just don't want to be in. So Josh Jacobs is a standalone. He's going to get signed. He's going to have to sign his franchise tag so that he can keep his value up so that he can negotiate a longer term contract again. And it's probably going to wind up being at a smaller value, or he's going to get franchise tag twice, which is going to have the multiplier, and he's going to get paid some money, but he's got to bet on himself and just play. So that's what we have for the news and notes here. Was July 17th. And that's the good word from your one quarterback standard dynasty PPR leagues with J&J Dynasty. Once again, give me a thumbs up and subscribe and like the video, please. And see if we can get a few more videos, or a few more people watching this stuff. Hopefully the information is valuable. All right, until next time, take care. And end on the good screen there, right?